stay on film and not be eaten. Okay, polychlorinated biphenyls. Now, they aren't telling you this, but standard chlorination of standard water in America, it's cheap, and they've got a bureaucracy and a tradition and a system. So when you put chlorine to try to deal with diarrhea organisms, here's some things they aren't telling you. One, human beings will only tolerate 0.2 to 0.5 parts per million of chlorine. And this is not enough to kill hepatitis virus. No, no. So besides smelling and stinging your eyes in a swimming pool and whatnot, it won't do the job. But when this chlorine is attached to methane, then you have a halogenated molecule. And I was taught pharmacology at George Washington University. They were very plain. They said, never trust a halogenated molecule. You'll get organ toxicity in the body, and you sure do. You certainly do. So these chlorinated biphenyls and even methane and whatnot, they increase cancer by measurement. Very well known. Well known indeed. So that chlorinated water is clear out of date. More than 20 years out of date. Okay. All right. So PCBs, they have an effect on the frontal lobe of the brain, which is really serious business. Okay, FIP. Now this is a newly recognized carcinogen, and you may be aware that FIP will steal electrons from guanine, split DNA, and for anti-cancer genes and growth factor genes and management genes in our chromosomes. This FIP carcinogen is very dangerous indeed, and is considered to be quite relevant to the following cancers. 1, cancer of the breast, 2, cancer of the prostate, and 3, cancer of the colon. Now, when you catch fish like trout, and you put them in the frying pan, and you get these ready for feed, here's what people don't know. You create FIP by combining creatinine coming out of the cells with simple sugars that are in the environment, in the frying pan. So look, today's lecture goes way beyond mercury. Oh, no, 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 no. No. It is not safe to seriously cook fish. Yes. Because of producing FIP, and this is dramatically clear by Bremer's studies in Berkeley regarding chicken, which would be more serious than fish. So that they estimate 40% of American FIP to arise from chicken. But fish are not off the hook. And look, the reason why I bring this up is because it is not the fish's fault. No, you make it in the kitchen. So the higher you heat it and the longer you heat it, the more carcinogens are in the food. Yeah. All right. Yes. In 9 out of 10 milk samples of Canadian mothers, FIP was found. But in the vegetarian mother, no FIP. Don't forget that. I think that would be a good picture for the Review and Herald right there. Sooner the better. Yeah. Now, the cancer cell is a rascal. Rascal. And many of you will be aware that the cancer cell is biologically selfish. And it will steal amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and everything it can get its fingernails on. But it has a minimum of service and a maximum of self, biologically. And it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies until the person is dead. Really quite a system. This is a dramatic case of evolution. See, you have a system here that goes around and around and around, and you have selection, you have survival of the fittest, but for some reason or other, people die with cancer. So this is a case of serious, measurable, visible evolution, the cancer cell. All right, so the bottom line, modern fish exist in a toxic environment. You see that big sewer there? Yeah, bad news indeed. And you see way out there on the horizon, you see that ship? Where does the sewer of big ships go?
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Now don't tell me they can it and take it to port. See, the old theory was this: anything you can throw in the ocean, you can forget about it because of dilution. But this is, that's not true. Not true at all. All right. Now look at here. Anybody ever heard of Ministry of Healing? Hands up. Anybody heard of the book, Ministry of Healing? Look what it says. In many places, notice that second little word there, many. In many places, fish become so contaminated by the filth in which they feed as to be a cause of disease. This is especially the case where the fish, that's my fault, come in contact with sewage of larger cities. Ministry of Healing 314. Kindly observe, ladies and gentlemen, that this is not a letter to Brother Huzikut that lived in southern New Jersey. No. No. You perhaps know a little bit about the glamorous story of New York sewage. Yes. All right, this is Ministry of Healing 314. And by the way, notice that Ministry of Healing is for everybody to read.
yes.
So don't think over the weekend that the speaker this particular hour is scraping the barrel on the right wing. See? No, not quite. Not quite. Well, look, 2,000 years ago, fish were so clean and so good that the great physician did what with them? Served 5,000 people with fish and barley loaves, right? But 2,000 years later, the Galilee and the Jordan River nowadays are environmental soup. I mean, see, industry, the compression, you see, of all these accumulated wastes and negative influences have ruined the environment. That's what's going on. Right? Okay. Yes. And look at here, earlier, this is 4ASG 139, preparations, mercury and calomel, that's HgCl2, taken into the system, ever retain their poisonous strength as long as there's a particle of it left in the system.